Hello students, welcome back to your class of English, and today we'll discuss about the poem that is The Lake Isle of Innisfree by William Butler Yeats. The Lake Island of Innisfree is a poem that is written by W.B. Yeats. This poem is the expression of the feelings of the poet when he asked himself, as the poet longs for a place which was full of peace and calm. So, this poem is a lyrical poem. The lyrical poem is a poem in which the poet expresses his own feelings and emotions. So, this poem is a lyrical poem, and actually, the Lake Isles of Innisfree is a space, is a place, exist and real or not, no one can't say, but here the poet claims that this is a place where he spent his childhood and he was really blessed to have at that place. And today, as he was living in one of the busy city of London, so that's why he was just longing for the place, the Lake Isles of Innisfree. So, this poem is a lyric. It explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles. 9 windows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the waves of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for now always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shores, while I'll stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. So, as I have already discussed with you, this poem is a lyric. It is a musical poem. It explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. And Innisfree is the name of a place. It is very quiet place, and there is a reason the poet wants to go there. He had spent his childhood in this place. He has very sweet memories of that place. That is why he wanted to go back to the lake island of Innisfree. So, in the first stanza, the poet says, I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 windows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. So, in the first stanza, first note down the words that are new for you. Here, the word arise means to get up, to arise. I hope you all are noting down the words, the word meanings. And cabin, cabin means room. Wattles are twisted sticks for making walls or fences. Wattles. Wattles are the sticks, twisted sticks that are used for making walls or fences. And the next one is be loud glade. Glade means open space, clear open space, and be loud refers to the sound made by the buzzing of the bees. So here in the first stanza refers to the poet W. B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats. He says that he wants to go to the Innisfree. Over there, he will build a small room for himself with clay and small sticks which are used to make the walls or the fences of the cabin. So, here in the first stanza, the poet is saying that I will arise and go now. as the poet now has grown up and he's living in one of the busiest city of London. But the poet is always longing that he would stand up and go now in the present time and goes to Innisfree, and there he will make a small cabin, a small room of clay, and by using the wattles, the sticks which are used to make the walls or fences. And along with, he says that as he will need some food to eat, also, so he will grow 9 rows of beans near his room. And also, he will get the honey from the honeybee hive. And he says that the open space where he built his room will be full of buzzing sound of the bees, and over there will live at alone in peace and tranquility. Students, you have seen that in the first stanza, the poet is really longing to go to the Innisfree so that he can build there a room in the open space that is provided in the Innisfree, the island, and there as he will grow 9 beans of rose to get the food, and as already he will get the honey from the beehives, and he's really longing for the peace and tranquility that is somewhere missing in his present life. Now let's see the next changer. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. So here first have a look on the word meanings. The first word is dropping from the veils. Veils. Veils means a piece of fine material that is worn by the women to protect or to hide her face. In Hindi we can say that a parda, a fine piece of cloth to cover the face. And the next is cricket. Cricket is an insect which makes a sound. So, cricket is an insect related to the grasshoppers but with shorter legs. Glimmer, glimmer means shiner, shining. And the next is linnet. Linnet is a small bird of gray and brown color with a short beak. Glimmer is a small brown and gray colored bird with a short beak. So here in the second stanza, the poet says that when in Innisfree, he will feel peaceful, and he says that the feeling of peaceful is felt slowly and gradually. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow. So he will definitely feel the peace, but the peace felt by him will be gradual and slow process. And here he also describes that how would he feel peaceful in the morning time when it is cloudy. When in the morning time it is cloudy and the view is not very clear, then it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. And looking at this scene will make him feel happy and peaceful in the morning. And further he says that when the male cricket insect will sing a song, that sound will bring him peace. And also at midnight, in the morning when the day would be the cloudy and the morning will not be clear, and it will look like as the morning has covered itself in the veil, that somehow it will bring peace. And in the midnight, when he will see the shining stars like gleaming or shining all the time, the twinkling of the stars, he would feel peaceful. And in the afternoon, when the sunlight will give a purplish glow, it will also give him peace. So during the evening, full of the linnet's wings, during the evening when he will see the linnet bird flying in the sky, and then also he will feel peaceful. So he has just divided the time and just also described that how would he feel peaceful and calm and compose at different segments of the day. In the last stanza, the poet says, I will arise and go now for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. Night and day here means all the time of the day. And lapping here means striking striking to each other. And then hearts go the innermost part of the heart. The innermost part of the heart. So here in the last stanza, the poet says that now he will stand up and go to Innisfree because all the time the sound of the lake waters striking the shores and repeats in his mind. The sound attracts him towards the lake whenever he is either standing on the roadway or on the grey colored pavements. When he hears a sound deep in the innermost part of his heart. So, this is all about the explanation of the poem, and we talk about the rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme is A B A B. Innisfree made honeybee glade. Innisfree honeybee AA made glade BB. So the rhyming scheme is AABB. Now let's have a look on the second stanza. Slow wings, glow wings. Slow glow AA, wings and sings BB. So, if we talk about the one literary device that is commonly used here is the usage of alliteration. So, what is the meaning of alliteration? The repetition of the consonant sound in two or more closely placed words. For example, in the first stanza, a hive, honey bee. So, here H sound has been repeated. So, it would be the perfect example of alliteration. Then in the last one, lake lapping glow. L sound is repeated. So this is known as alliteration. So in the next video, my dear students, I will tell you more about this poem and we'll discuss more about this poem. So till the time, just watch this video carefully. Thank you. And read the poem.